Hey there, buds. My name is Corporal.Bloggins, and welcome back to Helldivers 2. Today we are on Omicron. I don't think Omicron Persei 8 or a similar. Oh, that's way over. I don't think we're on Omicron Persei 8, but we're in a system called Omicron. Now, whether we're in the same universe as Futurama or not, I cannot say. Why do you always start on the flamethrower? I usually have you the other way. Let's have the cremator out. I just want fire on fire today. And this new mortar is so efficient. It just works so well. Interesting fact, by the way. I don't know why I looked that way. My camera's here. Interesting fact, by the way. The mortar is an extremely simple system. I've worked on them before. Not automatic mortars, I will say. I've not worked on an automatic mortar like this. That can, you know, load itself and keep shooting. But the mortar system itself, extremely simple. Literally, it's a tube with a pin at the bottom, and you drop it in, and that's it. Gravity takes care of the rest. I don't need to take care of those guys. Me fully loaded. Wait a sec. 46? Okay, I can't see. I thought this was an open, what's it called? Whoa. Hey, buddy. I thought this was an open bolt weapon. I was looking at it in the lobby, and it looked like open bolt. Why does it have 46 out of 45? Okay, for those of you who are wondering why I'm confused, normally when guns in this game specifically show, oh boy. Specifically in this game, when guns show an extra bullets in the, you know, in your magazine, it's because it has one in the chamber, right? Locked and loaded with a gun locked. You take out the magazine, put in a new magazine, therefore you have a full magazine, plus the bullet in the chamber, giving you one extra round. This weapon, specifically, operates with an open bolt, meaning that I didn't turn this on. Meaning that when it's, at rest isn't a good way to say it, but when you're not firing, when the bolt is locked before you pull the trigger, the bolt is held backwards, right? That's usually done for cooling purposes, right? Like a lot of machine guns will do that because they have to fire a lot of rounds for in a short period of time. So they'll keep it open, that way the weapon can air cool. A lot of SMGs will do the same thing, mainly because you can get a faster fire rate if it's blowback operated rather than gas operated. This gun, obviously, I'm pretty sure is gas operated, given how its fire rate is. And not just the fire rate, but also the fact that it's, what's it called? When I looked at it, the... Oh, I'm bad at words. The handguards. It's not a handguard, really, because you should not put your hands on it. You know, maybe it's not gas operated. Maybe it is blowback. But even if it is blowback operated, that would make even less sense for it to be 46 out of 45. Right, because as I said, the bolt is held backwards when you load the magazine. Therefore, there cannot be a bullet in the chamber until you fire, until you let go, releasing the bolt, picking up a bullet, and putting it in, firing. I don't know if this weapon locks, fires, and then continues, that would be gas operated, or whether it just picks up the bullet, launches into the chamber, fires immediately, and uses that explosion to recoil itself backwards. And again, actually, I don't know if this weapon would be recoil operated or blowback. I'm pretty sure it's blowback operated because correct me if I'm wrong, recoil operated, the barrel is free floating, right? Like on an M2. So I think that's it. I think that's the difference between them, but I could be wrong. Point is, this weapon should not have an extra round in the chamber. That literally makes zero sense for that's not how this gun operates. Maybe I shouldn't complain about getting an extra bullet in my magazine. I'm just gonna do this. This is... Oh boy. Oh, that's not good. There we go. If it works, it works. Let's get another mortar going. Okay, I am back, and now I think I'm better equipped. You know, I brought the SMG last time because I was really curious about the whole one in the chamber thing. I'm glad I got to figure that out.
Deploying equipment package.
But also, I brought some stuff that's a bit easier to take care of shriekers, in case that's what I come across again.
Deploying equipment package.
Which I have a feeling might be. If not, I also have stuff that's ready for solo.
Weapon.
One of you. Trusty old guard dog and spear gun. Easy. Okay. Let's give this a start.
Objective nearby.
Hey, buds.
Have a taste of democracy.
Yeah, this thing's a freaking beast. I wonder what gauge. Oh, there we are. I wonder what gauge it is. I didn't read the description if it said that. I didn't notice. But the fact that it can just fire so quickly is incredible.
Say hello to
What's cool about that, I don't know if the way it works for this. I'm assuming the way it's firing so quickly, the way a shotgun works, I'm sure most of you are aware of this. Oh, hello. But you know, whoa, come on, get out of here. There we go. So you cock back the pump, you know, pump action shotgun, which brings the, what's it called? The bolt backwards, allowing you, when you push the pump back forward, pick up the next round, put it into the chamber, and then as you release the trigger, it, you know, releases the firing pin within the bolt, strikes it, fires it out. How a normal pump action shotgun works. What's interesting about this is I guess it's an older weapon without the same safety modifications as a lot of more modern weapons. What I mean by that, a lot of guns nowadays, I should say firearms, not guns, because guns technically refers to artillery and not this. Oh, common samples. I need common samples for the strategic. What was I saying? Yeah. So the way most guns work nowadays is that they have a safety mechanism within them. You know, they're not all the same, but the basic idea of the way the safety mechanism works is that it will hold back the firing pin until you release the trigger, and then you can fire. So if you fire the weapon, right, releases a firing pin, shoots off the shot. If you still hold down that the trigger, if you still hold down the trigger, pull back the action and re-rack another round, like load another round into the chamber. If you're still holding on to that trigger, then there's a mechanical safety inside the weapon that holds back the firing pin until you let go of the trigger and then press it again. It's a safety measure, so for a lot of semi-automatic weapons, so they don't fire if you don't want them to. Am I at the right place? I'm getting distracted by guns. Yeah, I'm in the right place. Now, what I'm assuming is because... Oh, is that all I have to do? Oh, easy, okay. Now, I'm assuming because this is like a World War I style weapon, and this is based off an older weapon system, that it doesn't have that safety mechanism, right? It doesn't have the safety mechanism of, you know, holding back the firing pin, meaning that as soon as you push the action forward and chamber the round, the firing pin is ready to go. If you're still holding onto that trigger, the firing pin will release as soon as it's in front. Now, doing something like that allows you to get a gun like this that shoots incredibly fast even though it's pump action. That being said, if the weapon is not fully forward, if the action, like, you know, the chamber isn't fully closed and the action isn't fully forward before you fire, there's a very good chance that because there isn't the proper obturation, the proper... Oh boy. Thank you, drone. because there isn't the proper there's a space, there's an opening basically, right? The whole point of the safety of the gun is that it needs to be fully closed before it can fire. That way there's no way of the explosion shooting backwards, right? Because it's a mini explosion inside the bullet, shoots forward. If the gun is not fully forward before the firing pin releases and fires, then that could be a catastrophic, failure. It could explode in your face. It could explode the gun. It can an explosion could happen in a place where it's not supposed to happen.
Prepare to exterminate.
So reasons like that, they took that out. That's no longer. I'm quite confident. I can't be sure about every single weapon, but I am quite confident that most modern firearms, that's how they're made. They will have that safety, that if they're meant to be semi-automatic or pump action, bolt action, whatever it may be, that they will not, even break action, that the firing pin will not release until you let go of the trigger and then pull it again. All for safety. Which, I mean, makes sense. These guns are, guns are not toys. Firearms are not, toys that you can just mess around with. Oh, I thought there was a bug hole here. I missaw. That's on me. But yeah, just in case you're wondering, now you know. I like talking about guns. Again, it's why it became my career. It's why, well, was my career. I'm leaving the military now, but that's why I joined as a weapons technician. I've always found them extremely fascinating.
Deploying sentry.
That being said, the Army has a way to mess you up in the head a bit. Let's say that. Ooh, excuse me. And I mean, as I said in a previous video, I don't regret my time in the Army. I very much got to do a lot of cool shit. But again, I just wish I didn't leave with a form of PTSD. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Don't get me wrong. I'm still relatively functional, despite, my, oh boy. Oh, thanks, turret, or drone. I'm still relatively functional, despite, having, mental health issues now. That, I'm not gonna get into it. I might get into it. We'll see, I don't know. I don't mind talking about it. I get told a lot to be careful what you say and who you say it to. And I was actually watching a stream right now of, I don't know if you know Lord Minion 777. I'm a big fan of him. He's, well, I learned through him through Mark, obviously Markiplier. That's where my fandom started. And then in watching Mark's videos of him and friends, him, Bob, and Wade, or listening to Distractable, which again, if you do not listen to Distractable, you are missing out. He's hysterical freaking podcast. 3 idiots and microphones. What else do you need? And it's just, they're so funny. They're so freaking brilliant with the kind of dumb shit they do. And I'm not saying every episode is hilarious. A lot of episodes are really funny, and some are hit or miss. It all depends. Like, there's an episode that, what's it called? Oh, I can't even remember the name of the episode. But the point is they were making the toilet more patriotic. How can you make the toilet more patriotic? Is it fireworks? Is it guns? Is it, I don't know what, American flags? Like, how do you make it more patriotic? And I absolutely love that. It was an okay episode. I love the idea. It talked a lot about poop. And that's something that I actually appreciate about their comedy, is that they're not afraid to talk about, icky stuff. They find comedy in the ick factor. And I enjoy that. I don't mind shying away, or I don't want to shy away from... it depends, actually. It depends on the context. The context is very important.
Found something!
They unfortunately talk about poop more than I would like. But then again, that's kind of part of the charm of the show. It's, I don't know, part of it is what it is. What was I talking about before? I don't even remember. I remember talking about Wade. Yes, okay, so I was watching Wade's
Found
live
something.
stream. He was playing Pal World, I think, with his wife, Molly. And I was asking some advice, like, should I switch? I don't know why I threw that there. That's not gonna work. This should work.
Mission at
There
30
we go.
minutes remaining.
And I was asking, like, how do I go from YouTube to streaming? Should I start it? I'm scared. I don't know, the equipment. I don't know any of the stuff. And his main advice, Wade's advice, his main advice was, it depends on my goals. What am I going for? Am I going for a job? Because as he said, for him it took maybe 4 years before this was able to take off. And, and that's having, thousands of followers, bunch of video views. And he's like, if that's your goal, you're going to have a hard time. And I'm like, okay, fair. Not exactly my goal, though. As much as I would love for this to be a career and would love to just be able to play video games and post videos for a job. Yeah, see, this is much better taking care of freaking Shriekers. Sweeper's just amazing. Yeah, as much as I would love to make it a job, that's not what I'm after, really. I'm enjoying this so much. I love this. I love making videos. I love playing games. And I love the fact that I don't feel like a chore when I'm doing this. It's hard for me to find things that oh boy, oh, that might block it. Find things that I genuinely enjoy and just want to, yeah, okay, I thought so. Damn it. But this is something I really like. At first in my life it was music. Music was, for the longest time, my love. I love playing drums. I love learning new instruments. I know. So I'm a drummer. I'm mainly a drummer. I know drums. That being said, though, I play some guitar. Would not call myself a guitarist, and I'll get into what that means in a second. Oh, no. Oh, run, buddy. Run, buddy. I play guitar, but I'm saying the difference between playing guitar and being a guitarist, in my eyes, is the ability to not only improvise, but understand the instrument. I can play a few things that I've learned, sure. I know a scale here or there. But if you start playing drums or start playing bass, I'm not going to be able to tell what you're playing, how you're playing it, what notes you're hitting just by hearing it and being able to play along with you. That, to me, is a guitarist. As on drums, I can do that for sure. That's not something I have an issue with. I love playing drums. Oh, I went the complete wrong way to where I wanted to. That's okay, there's a main mission here. I love playing drums, and I'm playing drums most of my life. And for the longest time, that was my, my favorite thing to do. And I've also honestly considered posting some videos of me just playing drums, which I might still do. I don't know. I can do this for fun. I can post whatever the hell I want, really. But no, back to what I was saying about, this is a passion I've found, and I'm just enjoying it so much. And as Wade was saying, if I'm actually enjoying it, and if I'm actually doing it for the right reasons, not just monetary gain, but, to create content and actually put stuff out there for the world to enjoy, then go for it. You just have to do it. You don't look up tutorials is one big thing he said. I don't know how the equipment works. I'm bad at equipment. And as I know from listening to Distractable, so is Wade. He's an incredibly smart man. But electronics is not his forte. More than fair. I'm the same way. So his advice for that, look up tutorials. YouTube, which I'm posting to right now, has an incredible amount of tutorials on how to do things. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just think of that. I was just so nervous, and I started watching Wade's things, and I'm like, Wade is an approachable guy. I'm gonna ask him, see what he thinks, what his opinion is. And I'm glad I did. I'm really glad I did. Because, as I said, I have a lot of respect. I don't know if I said that, but I do have a lot of respect for Wade. I have a lot of respect for Mark and Bob. As I said in my intro video, to the channel, Markiplier is who how do I say it? Is who I credit with basically saving me, through an extremely dark point in my life. I was in rehabilitation, actually, for a few months. for mental health because my mental health had deteriorated to a very bad point, let's say. And during that time, oh boy, I started listening to Mark. You know, I've always watched YouTube. I've always enjoyed YouTubers, but I started watching Markiplier specifically, and it just clicked for me. And then I started seeing Mark, Bob, and Wade play games, and oh man, that really made me happy. And that's all I watched for months on end. You know, I would just watch Mark, Bob, and Wade. I would just listen to Distractable because that's what kept me happy. That's what kept me sane. You know, there's so much bad things in my mind going on from, you know, things I've done on duty, things that have... I'm not going to get into that part, but there's just... It's so much better, or it was so much better for me to be able to connect with them. And honestly, I may have only credited Mark, but Wade is a huge part of saving my life. He really is. You know, I absolutely adore him. The amount of work he does to... I don't know. It's hard for me to put things into words. It really is. But I also have always felt like I'm kind of like Wade. You know, I'm kind of... Oh, I'm going off now. I've always felt like I'm kind of like Wade in the sense that a lot of content with Wade, Mark, Bob, and Wade, or Wade and other people, you know, if he's whether he's with JP or with his Bird or Ryan. Ryan loves to give him shit. A lot of comedy back when. Oh, sorry, back when more back when, not as much now, but there was a lot of jokes of, you know, shut up, Wade. You know, Wade would say something, and people were like, shut up, Wade. God damn it, Wade, shut the fuck. That was the joke. And, you know, obviously he grew to ignore that, because like, yeah, okay, whatever. But the thing is, you get Wade talking about philosophy, you get Wade talking about worldviews, you get Wade talking about being able to see things from different perspectives, not just left, forward, and right, but up, down, around, fucking 273 degrees the other way, then 18 degrees on the Z. I don't know. The way Wade can see the world and be able to... He doesn't necessarily have all the answers, but he knows how to ask the questions. You know, and that's something I really appreciate about Wade. And he's a big inspiration to me. So yeah, that's I forget how I got into this topic and why I'm talking about this. That's another thing that I really like about the YouTube, the tubes of you, is I can just talk. You know? As I said in a previous video, if I don't know someone, it's usually hard for me to talk to them. But since I'm just talking to a camera, you know, I feel a lot better about it. I feel like it's... I don't know, it doesn't feel as... detrimental's not the right word. Am I outside? I am. Okay, let's call a resupply. I need more ammo. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here!
Freedom never sleeps!
Okay, I keep forgetting I have this. I need to utilize this more. I don't know why I'm not using it. I think it's because I got so used to bringing the cremator, and now I know I don't have it, so I'm just not taking it out.
For prosperity! Have a taste of democracy!
That's easy. Easy. Get the hell out of here. Done. Let's get fully loaded. But no, they, I think the point I was trying to say is that they were a big point in my life that really helped me. That's a big thing with my, I don't know if it's an ADHD, I'm pretty sure it's an ADHD thing. But, I can't keep things straight in my mind. You know, I keep bouncing from subject to subject. Keep talking about, you know, one thing and then relating it to another thing, going on a tangent, and then completely forgetting what I was talking about. Which the thing is also what I like about Distractable. If you haven't watched Distractable, they do that a lot. They just go on random tangents. You know, they'll start talking about one thing, and then that'll lead, like Wade will say something, which will remind Bob of something, and then he'll go into a story, and because of that, freaking Mark starts thinking of something, you know, and then there's been episodes where they have an idea, going in, and it completely changes. 180, 100, like, just completely changes as to what the topic of the video or the podcast is, because it just got distracted and started talking about something else. You know? One of my absolute favorites is, it's absolutely hilarious. It's,
Mission have 20 minutes remaining.
oh, I think it's an earlier one. Funniest Joke in the World, I think was the name of it. And Bob came up with the idea of, like, you know, this, or he didn't come up with this joke, but he came up with the idea for the episode, I should say. You know, he found a joke, which honestly was not very funny. It was okay. You know, I get the joke. It wasn't bad. It was, the joke was, two hunters are in a woods, or in the woods. And when one of them collapses, you know, his friend, all shocked, calls 911 and says, "Help, my friend has collapsed, I don't know what to do." And his operator says, "Okay, remain calm. First thing we need to do is make sure if he's alive or dead." Hunter says, "Okay," puts down the phone, bang! Picks the phone back up. "Okay, he's definitely dead. Now what?" And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not a bad joke. I get it. It's pretty funny, I guess. But it's not the funniest joke. And that was the premise of the episode. And it devolved to, I forget how it led to this, but I think it was Mark. Yeah, it was Mark saying how the funniest joke needs to come from a machine, you know, ironically, obviously. But he pulled up an AI and started asking it to write the joke. Like, he gave him the beginning of the joke and then saw where it would go. And it was terrible. It was... Okay, by terrible, I mean the jokes weren't funny. But, man, what came out of it was fucking hilarious. It gave some stories that... I mean, I was pulled in, but I'm like, what the hell? I want to know more about this. What is this story? They weren't funny jokes, but man. Oh, okay, you know what? Wade did do one. I forget what it was at the end, but that one was freaking hilarious. Happy birthday? Was that it? Or am I thinking of their forced playthrough? I don't remember. I can get that on the way back. Let's go do the main objective here. Not that way. Is there a way out? Oh, here, okay, there's a way out, and that should lead me... Okay, I'll have to go around. Whatever, that's fine.
Get some!
Ah! Why do I suck? Oh boy, really? Really? Oh, and you spawned in front of me. Naturally, okay. Let's just get a nice sentry going. Right up there for you guys. Please enjoy. I'm gonna go do my mission. You know, something that I've been really thinking about is that I was scared to ask Wade the question that I asked. I was really worried to go on his stream, you know, even if it's just watch it, obviously, but to go watch his stream and ask a question, because not only are there thousands of people watching that can also see the question that I asked. I mean, what if he's not the person I thought he was? And that's always a big, scary thing in my mind. You know, I have this picture of who people are, and I mean, it's not like I know him. I don't know him. I've never met the guy, you know, and seeing him online doesn't count as knowing him. I'm aware of him, you know, I very much enjoy his content. Doesn't mean I know him, you know. So that's the thing. I was scared of, you know, what if it seems dumb, and, you know, his answer, I don't know. I don't know what my worry was. That has to do actually a big thing with my anxiety and, something here? Oh, super credits. Nice. I was looking for a hole. I didn't even look down. That's a big thing that has to do with my anxiety. It has to do with the form of PTSD. It unfortunately messes with how I'm able to think and how I'm able to do things. But I'm really glad I asked the question. I'm really glad, you know, I just did it. And I think that's a big point he was trying to make too. I just gotta do it. You know, I could sit around wallowing in my fear and being, you know, upset with myself for not doing anything. But at the end of the day, it's just like doing this YouTube right now. You know, I'm doing it. That's what you just gotta do. And it's not that easy. Don't get me wrong, that's not a simple thing to do. You know, there's a lot of hurdles not just me, a lot of hurdles people have to get over mentally in order to be able to do this. But I want to try. I want to say that I gave it a shot.
Deploying sentry.
You know? Because why the hell not? And that's why I'm glad I asked my question, and I'm glad the response I got was, honestly, it was just the response I was looking for.
Prosperity.
You know, he didn't tell me what to do exactly, which is fine. That's not what I was looking for. I was just looking for his perspective on... What? Oh, I never restarted the pump! Oh!
You will never
That's
destroy
what's
our way
left
of life.
here. Okay, I must have gotten distracted by something and not done it. Okay. Cool, well let's take care of this and then get the hell out of here.
Bug outpost.
But you know what? Something else that he said that really resonated with me is if I do start streaming, you can't be an ass to your audience. And I mean, I thought that was an obvious thing, but the way he said it, I was like, I understand what you mean. He's like, let's say one day you have 500 viewers, for example. Then the next day you have 10. Then the next day you have 1. It's your mom. That's it. His point is, you can't be... Oh, come on, drone. You can't be shitty if you're streaming. If there's only 10 people, for example, you can't be like, ugh, I wish there was more than 10. Fuck you guys, there's only 10 of you. At that point, then what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you being shitty to the people who are coming to watch you play? It doesn't matter if you have 1 person, it doesn't matter if you have a 500 or 1,000. You know, that's besides the point. You do it because you enjoy it. And that's something that I already thought of. I already knew that in my heart. But hearing him say it was like, this is it's a good thing to keep in mind. You know, that even if I do start streaming, and even if I only have 1 viewer, 2 viewers, my mom and dad, that's it. You know, okay. Am I enjoying it? Am I doing it because I like it? Then keep going. Who cares if they're the only ones watching? You know? And I think that's really the... What's it called? That's the takeaway from that, I think, is you can't be shitty about it. I don't care about the small holes, that's fine. I'm just trying to get out right now. Because I might go see a friend, or a friend might come see me, I hope. We'll see. I don't know. That's something that actually my mom keeps telling me. My mom will tell me, because obviously my parents are very proud of me for going out of my comfort zone, and so are my friends very proud of me of going out of my comfort zone and doing YouTube and posting videos. But she'll always say, like, make sure you still go outside, okay? Don't just be inside doing video and editing and doing video and go outside. I'm like, yes, Ema, I know. I go outside. Don't worry. You know, I see the I mean, not only do I have to go to work 5 days a week, obviously. You know, I still go out and see my friends. It's not winter anymore here. You know, it's what are we in April now? I think getting close to mid-April. And I mean, I say I'm in Northern Ontario, but I mean, relative perspective, if you think about it. Oh, I didn't pick up my drone, did I? That's okay. I'm gonna call one in a second. Once I call this first, so it can cover my ass. And let's get one of you going over here, and then get a cloud between us. There we go.
For prosperity.
Don't shoot me! Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Mag's empty.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't just shoot my ultimatum at them.
Get some.
Ah, that's what I was looking for. Come here, buddy. Come to me.
You may proceed
Now again, I don't remember what I was talking about. What was I talking about? It was something about my comfort zone? Look through a nice little... Oh, there's a thing there. Eh. I don't really care about the XP right... yes I do. Because I want to level up my shotty gun. My sweeper. Nah, I don't care enough. I do need to get going soon, so I might as well wrap up this video. And I'll be able to get... I can edit it when I come back. Which is also something I'm really happy about. I genuinely enjoy editing videos. I'm really having a lot of fun rewatching my stuff, editing it so it looks better, you know, zoom-ins here and there, making thumbnails. Oh, excuse me. I'm genuinely having a lot of fun with it.
Deploying equipment package.
I'm really happy with that. You know? I think that's another thing that proves to me that it's not that this is going to be a sure thing whatsoever, but what proves to me that I'm in the right direction for this hobby. That I'm enjoying it. I'm not doing it because I feel like I have to. I'm not for... Oh, don't shoot my turret, please. Sentries. I keep calling it a turret. That's not what a turret is. See, for the longest time playing video games, I've learned that those are turrets, and that's what I called them, or, you know, what you're... When you're holding a weapon, a firearm that spins, you know, spins around, it's stationary, that's a turret. That's not what a turret is. A turret is a part that spins. I thought that the entire contraption, everything all together, you know, gun and all, was a turret. Meaning that an automatic one with a machine gun would also be called a turret. That's not what it is. Once I started working on light armored vehicles that have like 25mm guns, you know, on a turret that spins on the vehicle, then I was like, oh, that's what a turret is. It's like in the last video when I kept calling magazine, I kept saying clip. It's not what a clip. A clip is very specific. If you think of like the way an M1 Grand reloads, you know how there's a little plastic piece that holds a few bullets together, a few rounds together, and then you can click it like this into a magazine or into, you know, if the magazine's built into the weapon itself. That is a clip. You know, technically speaking, what I was talking about with pacifier was all magazines. You know, and this doesn't have either. This has a tube. I guess it's a tube magazine, they call it. An internal tube magazine, but it's a tube. It's a tube. Are you gonna land, asshole? Hello? Oh, don't be a dick. Pelican 1, thank you. God damn.
Extraction complete.
Get the hell out of here.
Beginning ascent.
Oy vey.
You have proven beyond doubt the mettle of the Helldivers.
Oh, we did. That's going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider leaving a like. If you want to see more of my stuff or videos of me and my friends being idiots, then please consider subscribing to the channel. And yeah, that'll be it. I'll catch you on the flip. Peace out!